welcome on into the first Scots Sports Show of 2015. I am your host, Tyler Trumbauer. Despite classes ceasing over winter break, the winter sports plunged forward, especially the basketball teams who played 9 games over the break. On today's show, we are going to catch up on what we missed on the hardwood with both the men's and women's basketball teams. First, the men's team. The Scots went 6-5 over the winter break and hovered around the bottom of the Western Division. However, the guys have been on a hot streak of late and are looking to make a playoff run. I caught up with head coach Pat Cleary and Henri Wade-Chatman earlier this week. All right, guys, interesting last couple weeks for this team. It's was a rough start to the season, a lot of heartbreakers. I mean, you lost, I think, 5-6 games by combined 20 points in the beginning part of the season. Coach, from your standpoint, what's changed with this team?
I just think it's mental. I think we have the ability to beat anybody on our schedule. I think that once the guys realized, that they have the ability to not look for what can go wrong next, to not look outside of it, for them to just realize they deserve to be here, they deserve to win the game, they've put in the effort, and they can get it. I think once that kind of clicked, things started going in our direction.
So the 8-game winning streak is what has gone in your direction, risen you from the last few spots in the Western Division to perfectly a playoff push position right now. Buka, you've really been the one to pilot that. You've taken over the leading PSAC scorer position. And from your standpoint, from the player, what have you seen from inside this locker room? What has transitioned out on the court to make you guys a playoff team in the PSAC?
We really worked hard. We got great chemistry on our team. We got a great group of guys. We bought into the defense and rebounding. That's what was really stopping us, and it was all mental.
Now, Coach really instills intensity. I mean, he lives it, number one. And number two, I'm sure he preaches it as well, and I can see that from the inside, and I'm sure even spectators can see that on game day as well. Is that something that really resonates with you and the players? You see that passion from the coaching staff to just bring that yourselves as well, day in and day out?
Yeah, we gotta match our coach's intensity. You know what I'm saying, you can see that he got a lot of passion for the game. So we gotta play with heart because he coached with heart.
Can't let him one-up you in that category. Absolutely not. You guys are supposed to be the young ones, right, with the energy. So, Coach, a lot of heartbreakers. I mean, Mercyhurst, close one. Cal came down the free throws at the end in the first trip around. The list can go on. Mercyhurst was a close one. Kutztown was down to the last 4 minutes. And the list goes on, and I haven't even seen all the games this season. So now this time around, going your second tour in the Western Division, what do you want to do to make sure you're on the winning side of those contests?
I just think, we kind of take a thought process as a team to, if you get a my bad and I get a my bad and he gets a my bad, well there's 3. If we cut the my bads out, we aren't going to play a perfect game. But if we get a turnover because we made a hustle play and then stepped out of bounds, we can live with that. But if we get one because we weren't tuned in, because we weren't paying attention, that's the stuff we can't have happen. The teams in our league are too good. And if we eliminate those and we give ourselves more possessions than the other team, we're having more success. And that kind of bleeds into the rebounding aspect, the not turning the ball over. The more chances we have, I think we're going to be successful because of who our guys are and how they're playing together and how they're looking out for each other. But if we limit ourselves by not having those extra possessions, that's kind of what leads to us stubbing our toe a little bit. And knock on wood, we've been doing a good job of that recently, and we just need to keep it going.
Buka, as one of the returners and the guys that's a leader in the locker room and on the court, with 9 new guys this season, do you think maybe it just took a little while for you guys to gel and be able to just eliminate those my bads and work together and have less bad times, more good times, which equal more wins? Do you think it just took a little while to form that as a unit?
I think we formed great, but it was just little mental errors. Like, there was no reason why we should be losing that too. But it wasn't coach's fault, it was our fault. It was all my bads. It would be the turnovers or we're getting beat on the offensive glass or something like that. So we just had to cut the mistakes out.
Coach, now there's so many aspects. I know you have little check boxes you want to look at every game. Did we do this? Did we do that? Up to your standards. What needs to be done down the stretch here You have Mercyhurst on Saturday, who gave you that devastating loss at home earlier this season. Then you have Slippery Rock, who add that to the list of games you could have won. That was a very physical team. They've been falling off as of late, though, so you can maybe catch them at a good time. What needs to happen in the next couple weeks to secure a postseason spot?
We need to keep getting better. The other teams are going to try to stop us and do different things to get our guards out of sync and to get after us on the glass. But we need to keep improving. I believe in our guys. I believe in what we're doing. And it's just a matter of us taking the next step. Slippery Rock was a 4-point game. Mercyhurst here, we had a shot and it didn't go, But I think that there were so many my bads and blown coverages defensively that kind of led to that. So if we can keep improving, if we can take care of the little things, I know we're in for tough games, but I have confidence in our guys if we do what we need to do. I think that just the ability, to keep improving. The best teams will always improve from Christmas break and up and through February, and I think that we have been doing that. So, we just got to keep it going.
Personnel-wise, Jamin Mason, unbelievably having a great season in his redshirt freshman season, just earned PSAC West Freshman of the Week for the 4th time last week, averaging 12 points per game. I think he had a career-high 8 assists in the one contest as well last week. What have you seen from him and his growth? You knew he had the ability to score. Do you think he's growing as more of a leader and a captain on the court?
I think he has, but he did a great job last year when he was running our scout team stuff, when he was redshirting for us. We knew he was a good player. We knew he had the ability to do some different things, and I knew that the way he plays and the way Buka plays, it could really have a dangerous combination there. And, we've been talking about that since last spring, just, me, you, and Jamin about that. And I think that, it has now kind of taken off and gone in the direction we need it to go.
Buka, I just mentioned Jamin getting all those accolades. I got to ask you on maybe a joking note, do you feel you're getting a little snubbed from the conference offices being the conference leading scorer, and no Athlete of the Week accolades? You feel where's the love for Henri Wade-Chatman sometimes?
No. I hope Jamin get everything that he getting right now. He should, and we on a winning streak, so I really don't.
You just want the victories. They can keep those Player of the Week accolades, right?
I really don't care.
It's just something that strikes me kind of interesting, how you're the leading scorer in the conference and nothing. But I agree, you get those victories. From your standpoint, what would you like to see down the stretch? You've seen this team through the highs and the lows last season, this season. What needs to happen to stay on a high note for the remainder of the season and hopefully into the postseason?
Just continue executing, playing defense, getting fast break, getting out in transition. That's where we're our best at.
There you go. Hopefully that happens. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
You got it, man. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Coach Cleary and Wade-Chatman for sitting down with me. The Scots visit local rival Mercyhurst on Saturday at 3 p.m. The women's team was the preseason 6th-ranked team in the nation, but have fallen out of the national spotlight since. After the break, I'll ask head coach Stan Swank and graduate guard Laurel Lindsay on how they plan to get things back on track. The women's basketball team made it all the way to the Elite 8 last season. Now they are just focused on qualifying for the PSAC tournament and beating the powerhouses of the PSAC. To talk about the plan, I'm now joined by head coach Stan Swank and Laurel Lindsay, who is in her graduate season with the team. Coach, you were without returning All-American Val Majeski in the beginning of the season, which led to a little bit of a rough start. She returned, things picked up a little bit. Kind of been a roller coaster start to the season, hasn't it been?
Oh, we've been up and down all year. We've had some great games, and then we've had some not so great games. And I guess if we would have put everything together all at once for one game, would be tremendous. And we're just trying to improve and get everything to hit on all cylinders. And right now, that's not happening. We may have one game where we play great offense and not so good defense, and not so good defense another game, and great. So we're mixing up, and we need to get where all the components
the complete
are
package
hitting.
in one.
Right.
Now, Laurel, that period without Val was extremely tough on you. I feel you're one of the most versatile players in the conference, but you had to do a lot. You had to rebound, you had to run the point, you had to do everything, kind of fill 2 roles on the court at once. What was that like for you without her? And then now that she's back, how has that made maybe your life a little bit easier?
Not even was it like physically demanding without Val. It's more of like a mental thing. She's been there with us all last year, so it's just great to finally have her back. She's definitely a force to be reckoned with out there, and she's great at handling the ball. So it's nice because I don't always have to run and grab it because I see Val has it. So it's nice to just break out, and she runs the show sometimes too. So it's great to have her back.
Definitely the dual threat there at the point. Now, Coach, we talked about that roller coaster, and it went up, and you stayed up at the top for a while with the 8-game winning streak that occurred over winter break. There were probably a few complete package games in that one. What did you see during that 8-game stretch which really surged your team back into the top of the Western Division?
Well, I think we played with a lot of consistency, and I think that our players knew what we wanted to try and accomplish. I think we got over some of the youth of the early part of the season, and I think we got more geared towards the conference and what we wanted to accomplish in the conference. And I think we're at the point now where we're wanting to be able to beat the top 3.
Now, during that 8-game stretch, there were some individual accolades as well. One that you had, sir, with the 500 wins at Edinboro. You have over 600 in your career dating back to your previous coaching stop. Now you've had even more time to reflect on it, but what is that like to just accomplish 500 victories, 500 times you left a basketball court as a victor, as the head coach of the Edinboro women's basketball team?
Well, it's really an honor. It's an honor to be a coach here at Edinboro University, and I've loved it and enjoyed it, and I've had so many thrills, and it's been exciting. I think probably more than anything else is that I've enjoyed my players, and at times I get upset with them and I get on them and trying to get them to improve and to do their best, but I wouldn't have 500 wins if it weren't for players, and I've been just blessed with tremendous athletes through the years, and it goes with the same right now. We have some great players, and they're exciting and fun to be around.
One of those great athletes that have helped you got to a lot of those wins is right here with Laurel. You've been a part of many of Coach Swank's wins, and you had an individual accolade of your own, getting to 1,000 career points over the break, which you eclipsed in the Gannon game up in Erie. 1,000 points. That's a lot of time shooting, a lot of time scoring, a lot of free throws. What are your thoughts to be able to reach 1,000 points? Is that something you think you could have done in your career when you first started, way back when, as the Fighting Scot?
Not exactly. When I originally came here, I was just kind of happy to be here. I didn't realize the role or the impact that I would have on the team. So, it's a great honor to have 1,000 points. You look at the other people, and it's just that are in that 1,000-point club, and it's just an honor to have my name with theirs. So it's exciting. Now,
that's all in the past. Now, as Coach alluded to one of his answers earlier, he said that you got to focus on beating that top 3. You have Gannon, you have IUP up there, you have Cal, who just swept the season series with you guys this past Saturday in the locker room. What are the ladies saying about this home stretch here? Obviously, just one more win gets you in the conference tournament, but you're not worried about that. You can get that. It's trying to beat those upper-tier teams. What's the thought process of the ladies going forward?
We still have IUP at home. We still have Gannon at home. We're not done. We don't go down without a fight, so we're going to come out swinging when they come here, and we have to win all the games that we're expected to win, too. We can't really look over those. But we have Gannon at home on Wednesday, so that's really the next step. That's what we're looking forward to right now.
Coach, you told me we got to get those teams, got to figure out how we're going to beat them. We're having no trouble with anyone else, is what you told me on Saturday after the Cal game. What, other than a complete game, needs to happen moving forward with this team? I know you've been trying to put in some more wrinkles. Anya Freeland's been having a great consistency offensive lead for this team. What overall needs to happen to maybe get a win against an IUP or a Gannon?
Well, I think originally we went through a stretch where Anya wasn't playing to her potential, and now she's playing probably above it, and she's playing really well. And our guards aren't playing that well right now, but they've played great in the past. So I think it's getting back to that, getting everybody to hit them at the same time. And I think when we do that we can be a force. I think we can beat anybody in the conference. my goal, or what I'm kind of trying to gear towards now, is figuring out how we can win the conference. And as we make this stretch, those games are important, and we want to win those games. I want to win those home games, but I also want to gear towards the tournament and how we're going to put in strategies that we can win that tournament. And I think, we're probably going to host a first-round game, then we're probably going to go somewhere, and then we would go to the other side of the state and play 2 games. And I think we can get 4 games. I think we can beat anybody. Everybody's, beatable. I think Cal, we have to make some adjustments, and we have to really break them down and focus on what we're going to do with Cal, IUP, and Gannon. But I think that's something, kind of the beauty of it, is that's kind of the fun and the challenge, to find out how we can do that.
Get your scouting report, get it together, and figure out a plan of attack. One last note to hit on with the consistency is early in the season, you were trying to figure out a starting 5 that would work. Obviously, without Val being there, you had to plug another person into the core. And now during that winning streak, you found a starting 5 that worked. You changed it a little bit on Saturday, but do you feel that this team, especially a starting 5, is starting to gel together more, trying to work and to everybody's strengths?
Well, I think what we're trying to get to is a top 8. And if I can get a top 8 or 9 that I feel comfortable with, and get their roles defined, and I think we're getting close to that point, and we need to fine-tune some things, and we just got to get it hitting on all cylinders. And once we start doing that, I think we're going to be very strong. I know that going into playoffs, if I were one of those other teams, I would think Edinboro would be one of the most dangerous opponents to have.
Laurel, now last year you and your teammates made it all the way to the Elite 8. Some great experience that you'll cherish for your lifetime, but on the hardwood, you can use that this year. Coach just said Edinboro could be one of the most scariest teams in the postseason. Do you feel that experience last season will help you in postseason time?
Definitely. We know what it took to get there. We've been there, so we know the emotions that are involved and physically what's required to get there. So we just need to make it happen again. It was one of the best experiences I've ever had, so it'd be great to have that happen again.
The cards are in your hand. It's all for that, and we'll see if you can get back there, but one step at a time, which begins with Gannon, IUP right here at home, finishing up the regular season. So thanks for the time, and good luck, and I'm sure I'll be having you 2 back on, especially you, Coach, here in the upcoming weeks. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
When we come back, we will spotlight the first Scots of the Weeks for the spring semester and take a peek at the upcoming athletics schedule. Don't go anywhere. Congratulations to Will Morrow and Casey Jones for being named this week's Scots of the Week. Morrow, a redshirt junior guard on the men's basketball team, had a great week offensively, helping the Scots to cruise to 2 victories last week against Seton Hill and California University of Pennsylvania. The Wheeling Jesuit transfer had 17 points against the Griffins and dropped 11 on Saturday against the Vulcans. Casey Jones, a member of the indoor track and field team, obliterated her personal best in the 3,000-meter run on Saturday at the Midwest Indoor Open at the Spire Institute. The Holland, New York native finished 5th in the event, posting a time of 9:53.26, which was also an NCAA provisional qualifying mark. Now let's look at the upcoming schedule of events for the Edinboro Athletics squads. They have indoor track and field is at the Oberlin Invitational on Friday. The wheelchair basketball team has day 1 of the day 2 Borough College tournament on Friday. Wrestling hosts Lock Haven at 7 p.m. where they could win the EWL title. On Saturday, the wrestling team will be busy with the Edinboro Open, which is in the Zafarofsky Sports and Recreation Dome. Also, the men's and women's basketball teams make the quick jaunt to Mercyhurst for a doubleheader of basketball action against the Lakers. Continuing on, next Wednesday, the basketball teams return home to take on Slippery Rock. That's 5:30 and 7:30 at Macomb Fieldhouse. Try to make it out and support the Edinboro Fighting Scot student athletes. That's all for this week. Thanks for watching, and be sure to tune in next week as we will be talking a little wrestling as the Edinboro Grapplers host Ohio State on February 15th as part of the NWCA National Duels at 1 p.m. See you then, and go Borough.